Hi everybody, it's Alex from Belade Sports. Today I have two cars, two S2000s, one Sebring silver, one Silverstone silver, and they both have what looks to be OEM hardtops. Now, I don't know if you guys remember in the 1980s there was a Ross commercial. My mom used to work at Ross, and so when I was a kid, I was always around, Ross, and you see the Ross commercials, and they always had a split screen where they'd show, two of the same, two of the same outfits, and one person was, bought theirs at a department store, the other one bought theirs at Ross, and well, can you tell the difference between the two? And you couldn't, except for the price, and that's what we're going to talk about, is the price of these two hardtops. One of them is from Vaikhari USA. My friend Eric, who owns Vaikhari USA, he spent a lot of his money to recreate the factory hardtop that is discontinued from Honda. And it wasn't a very easy endeavor. I told him don't do it, but as time went on, the resources got a little bit better for Eric, so he was able to provide this. Honda discontinued the factory hardtop, and what the S2000 community is doing to itself is price gouging all S2000 owners that don't have a factory hardtop. It's kind of sad. I mean, I think I've seen it as up to $8,500 for like a Berlina black hardtop I saw the other day. It's pretty wild how much price gouging is going on when it comes to these aluminum hardtops. So I'm going to do a walk around, and I want to see if you guys can tell which one is which. Obviously, there's going to be some definite telltale signs, and what we want to show focus on is not necessarily one's better than the other. We already know which one's better. Honda's always going to be better. They're a billion-dollar company. My friend Eric, he's just a guy that decided that he wanted to just recreate this and hopefully be able to sell this, and just like any business, make any sort of profit, along with providing something that is no longer in existence. So hopefully everybody can look at it as a dual purpose type of thing, a business to make money, and customers that don't want to shell out $8,000 or whatever they're going to shell out for a used factory hardtop, have an alternative option for a brand new recreated hardtop that is supposed to be a one-to-one. So we're going to take a look and find out what the differences are right now. So I'm just going to look at the gaps first. Let's look at hardtop gaps. This one got a little less than a finger space here. Stick my finger right there. And these can be adjusted, by the way, gaps, right? But this is pretty tight. All right, now let's go to this one. It's the other side. About the same thing. All right. Now let's go to this hardtop. Got a finger right there. About a little tip of the finger right here. A little gap right here too. Right? Let's try one on this side. Very close to the same, without actually taking a measurement. When I take a measuring tape and I just measure this gap in between here and here, this point and this point, I have about, I'd say, about an inch gap, about 25 millimeters. And that's on the passenger side. This hardtop has, from this point to this point, I'd say about 26, 27 millimeters, a couple millimeter difference. Not too bad. I mean, could be just a difference of where the placement is, but that's pretty close. Let's try the other side. This one kind of raises up a little bit more. It's kind of interesting. This side, from this corner to this corner, looking about almost the same, about 26 millimeters right there. And from this corner to this corner, so far that's the biggest difference I've seen right here is about 3 to 4 millimeter gap difference. So a little bit of difference between here and here versus here and here. Well, obviously, if you guys haven't already guessed by now, this one is a Silverstone factory OEM hardtop from Honda. It says Honda right here. And this one is the Vaikhari recreated hardtop. It's been freshly painted, and you can tell by the glass it's a little different. It says tempered, doesn't say Honda on it, but this is where we're going about and just giving it a fair shake, you know, going toe to toe. What's the difference? What's the good? What's the bad? Obviously, like I said just a minute ago, nobody's going to say that this one should beat this one because this is Honda. Honda's the best. Right now, when it comes to S2000 hardtops, let's call it the top tier of hardtop is going to be Honda at this point, right? That's what we're trying to establish. Now, how well did Vaikhari USA do a recreation of this hardtop? You know, that's what's in question here. Now, of course, we would always say if you have the chance to buy a Honda OEM hardtop for a good price, that's where it's at. You know, the resale value is through the roof. You make money buying one of these, but that's not always, you know, that's not always in the cards for everybody. So this is a great alternative to not having to shell out so much money for an OEM hardtop. Okay, now don't get me wrong, these are still, you know, expensive, but you can, you know, you could do the math on your, you know, do your finances on your own. You can figure out which one you like. Okay, I'm here to tell you what the difference between the two are and how identical they may or may not be. Okay, now when it comes to this hardtop, you have a molded rubber seal. Okay, this is a nice rubber seal. This one it's a little bit more concave than the factory one. Let me go over to the factory one. The Honda one is very nice and plump. This is really nice, right? But this, if you were to buy this from Honda, these are like $360 each or something like that. I may be wrong, but you know, I'm not an encyclopedia for Honda parts just right this second. So as far as prices. So, but I know last time I ever bought these, I used to buy these from Honda for my carbon fiber hardtop, and they were at least close to 300, and that was years ago. So now they're probably even more. But if you look at the trim right here, it is so close to the same level. You see, like this flap that you have, it just looks really, really close. Yeah, not as plump, but you know, that's what they did. Okay, this trim I know from the manufacturing process. Eric said that these are made out of steel. This part, this is aluminum, this is steel. Okay, versus this part is a cast aluminum from Honda. So a little bit better made, much more expensive to be made, not able to purchase anymore. These are discontinued. So that wasn't really in the cards for being able to use this onto this hardtop. But if you do happen to have a spare set, it does fit. But that's not going to be, you know, fat chance on getting one of those. Okay, they both have a DOT tempered glass. I went over that already. Green tint with the defroster lines. Same thing, green tint, defroster lines. Okay, let's go on the interior. Inside here is a recreated Honda headliner from Vaikhari USA. They went the whole 9 yards to try to make this as close to authentic as the factory one. Okay, I'll show you the factory headliner so you can see the difference. There you go, that's the factory headliner. Okay, look at the plastic in the back right here. This is one thing I noticed that is different. This is a textured, you know, it has that textured plastic, you know, that you get on dashboards and stuff like that. The one from Vaikhari is a smooth plastic, so there is a compromise. And speaking to Vaikhari, their original plan was to just provide this plastic from Honda, but unfortunately Honda threw a curveball and discontinued it. So this plastic is smoother. It's not textured, but it's just plastic, does the same. It's basically plastic for the covering. You got the trim right here. There's a retainer behind here. I don't want to pull this off because it's a pain in the butt to put it back in. But yeah, this is as close to a one-to-one recreation. I measured the gaps, very, very close and similar. This one has the Honda quick release right here. Okay. Along with the Honda latches. Vaikhari also offers quick release handles, recreated quick release handles. This is the front of the hardtop. There is a little bit of a gap that I see right here. I think some of it is also because of this foam. This seal is really old and aged, but the OEM one does look tighter right here. Very, very minimal gap right there. This one, maybe a millimeter or two difference. So, all in all, if this was being sold for $6,000 or $7,000, we sell this complete kit, not painted, we sell for $3,750. So, to be honest, I think this is the next best thing. You know, if you have the extra money, buy OEM. You want to save some money? Vaikhari USA is a good option. So after speaking to Vaikhari to help fix our little gap here, we're going to do what's called, we're going to do a hardtop stretch. Now this is aluminum, so it can be bent pretty easily. So we're just going to give it a little stretch. Go ahead, guys. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to show you how easy it is to take off the hardtop, just like the factory hardtop. 2 latches in the front, 2 latches in the rear. So we have a little piece of foam that we put on the floor here. And then what you're gonna do is stick your, Victor's putting his chest up against this part of the hardtop. And this is where we have a little bit of gap, and he's just kind of like bow flexing it with his arms there just to get a little flatter. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay, and then we're gonna stick this back on. And now let's see if we kind of repaired our little gap there. A little bit of gap in our headliner, but that's okay because it just sandwiches right in between here. Okay. Wow, that's a lot of difference right there.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a way big difference. That fixed it. Took care of a lot of gap. Huh. Just a little massage like that, guys. So, all in all, this is the review and the differences between the OEM hardtop and the Vaikhari USA hardtop. Vaikhari USA did a very, very good job for being such a small company, pretty much a one-man op, and they were able to do something that nobody else was able to do and recreate an aluminum hardtop from the factory design. This is where Vaikhari USA has kind of like given, you know, the S2000 community an extra hardtop option. That's what we sell it online on our website for. And you can also find them on vaikhariusa.com. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for watching.